Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. I am free, free as a bird now, with my feathered wings. I am free, free as a bird now, with my feathered wings.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Camino Cafe. I'm Lee Brennan, and I'm sitting here with Phil Volker, and we are going to have a great interview today. And we are sitting outside in Vashon Island in Washington, and we're at the Oasis, which is the annual get-together of the Caminoheads that Phil started several years ago, and we will talk about that as well. And forget Phil and I, it's a little after 6 a.m., so we're interviewing pretty early, and you're probably going to see campers walking by as we get through this interview, but they're all pilgrims, so all welcome to the Camino Cafe, of course. So, Phil, I am so grateful that we're going to have this chance to sit down and talk. So thank you so much for coming to the Camino Cafe today.
Well, we've been waiting to do this for a while, so
yes.
Here it is, and this is a great place to do it. I don't know, we just had a power outage here.
Well, there we go. We have a power outage, and
I don't know, I don't know.
Well, we just roll with it. We're pilgrims, right?
Yeah, we got some shaky systems here. But, yeah, so wow, where am I? Here I am. Personally, here I am on hospice, so that's my big story, and I can't sort of come up with anything bigger than that right at the moment. So we're living with that and dancing with that, and so we're going to talk about that maybe a little bit and some other stuff. Fantastic. So Lee's gonna just fire away here. So I'm ready. Got my coffee.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you have coffee?
Hello.
Hi. Do you
Hi.
have coffee?
Yeah, I'm good.
So, Phil, I became familiar with your story. I first saw your film, Phil's Camino, and that was back right when the pandemic started, right around March or April of last year.
Oh, okay. Fairly recently.
Yeah. And I was so moved by your story at that point. And then Annie O'Neill, the filmmaker, she started Pilgrimage in Place. And I got to know you a little bit better during that. And then I got to come out and walk with you.
Right.
Corey and I came out in May.
Right.
And what an honor that was to come here and walk the Camino path that you built. So yeah. We will get to all of that, your movie, the path. And I kind of want to take our viewers back and help them get to know you a little bit. So tell us about your life before this movie and before your cancer.
Yeah.
What were you doing? And
what was I doing? I know. What was I doing? I don't know. I wish I could remember what I was doing. You know? I'd probably pick up where I left off, but yeah, it was the cancer diagnosis that really changed my life, and it sort of pushed me to join the Catholic Church, which I did at that time, and it pushed me into a lot of contemplation and a lot of thinking, and it gave me a time, a place to move into areas that I don't normally move into.
Right.
Right. I mean, you live your life in a normal sort of stage, and that's all fine. So good, but you sort of very seldom get to the, I don't know what would be the right word, the inner or the deeper sort of reaches of thinking or feeling or being, I guess.
Yeah.
Being is an important word.
Yeah, exactly.
To me lately. So
Being. Yeah.
somebody came up with a sort of a paraphrase of what we're doing here, and we are leading by being.
Mm.
And I thought that was really a hot little number there.
Yeah, I agree.
I like that. Yeah.
So now you have a lot of roles in life. You're married to Rebecca. And how long have you and Rebecca been married?
Oh gosh, I think it's 41 years now.
41 years.
42, I don't know. It's up there somewhere.
How did the two of you meet?
No, well, there.
Do we have a story?
Yeah, I don't know how much time we have, but we we were here on Vashon Island, and being young people, and there wasn't very much money, and there weren't very many TV sets, and this was 45 years ago, and we wound up getting together with a group of people every Tuesday night to watch MASH and Monty Python, crazy, and so we did that. We had dinner together, and we watched TV, and on somebody's borrowed TV or something. So she started coming to that, and I was coming to that. So before long, that stuff happens.
Yeah. And before that, you were in the military. You're a veteran.
Yeah, I was in the Marine Corps for 3 years.
Yeah.
And that was a significant sort of, I don't know, milestone or significant aspect of my life.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit about what you did for the Marines.
Oh, well, I was trained to be in communications, but really the high point of my 3 years there was I did 9 months as a rifle range coach, which I really, really, really enjoyed.
Yeah.
That was the best thing that I did there. So, it's a little otherworldly from civilian life for sure.
Right.
It gave me something I needed. So.
Yeah. What did it give you?
What
did you feel that you needed at that
time? Well, it gave me it really going through all that, going through boot camp and going through all that other stuff gives you a sort of a mental toughness and an endurance that you maybe didn't have before, or maybe a knowledge that you have that stuff in you that you just maybe you didn't know you had,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Which we all have that sort of little bit extra in there that we could find if we just give it the energy to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Did you go in as a young man? Were you around 18 years old when you went in, or?
I think I was 18.
18. Okay. And then you came back home to Vashon, and that's when you met Rebecca?
No, I didn't. I was from New York.
Oh, from New York.
Yeah, and I left. I went to school there for a year, and then I was on the road for a year, and wound up in a snowstorm here, 100-year snowstorm, and yeah, and I never left. I said,
you never left. You came in a snowstorm and never left.
No big plan, right?
You met Rebecca, and there was no turning around.
Yeah, that's right.
So now you eventually had Wiley. So you have.
Yeah, we have another child. We had Tisha, who's 10 years older.
Yeah.
And she lives in Massachusetts. She's a teacher.
Okay.
Has 2 children, husband, all that.
Yeah.
But we have a local son here next door. So Wiley's here, and he and his wife Hannah are having a baby coming up here at some point.
Yeah, he was telling me that yesterday. A baby girl coming up, right?
Baby girl, we know a lot. Baby girl.
And what's your daughter's name?
Tisha.
Tisha. Okay, fantastic.
Tisha.
All right.
Tisha.
So you, while on Vashon, what kind of were you working on career-wise? I know that you were teaching. A lot of people I've met here in Vashon, you've taught their children how to shoot and everything. And so was that your main vocation while you were
No,
here
I was a
Vashon?
carpenter here. I started a business.
Okay.
Had that going, and but I had all these side deals, sort of voluntary working with the American Legion, and working with the local sportsman's club, and working with kids teaching archery, and all that kind of stuff, which was what I really wanted to do.
Yeah, because that's what you loved when you were in the military, right?
Yeah, that's what I loved when I was there. So
yeah. Well, I tell you what, I think I haven't met anyone in Vashon yet, my 2 times that I've been here, that that didn't know you. So but it's funny because they don't know you in the way that I know you through the Camino. They know you through all these other things, right?
Exactly.
And so when I mention the Camino, they just kind of look at me kind of funny, and then I tell them about the rest of your story. So let's get to I think it was around 2009 you were diagnosed with cancer. And tell me a little bit, were you aware of the Camino before the diagnosis, or when did you find out about the Camino?
Oh yeah. Okay. So the big breakthrough was watching Martin Sheen's movie The Way.
Yeah.
Which is probably brought a lot of people to the point that it brought me. I was sort of unaware of what pilgrimage was about, and that was my first little glimpse, and I was just I was transfixed. I was like, wow, what is this? This is very cool. This is, I don't know, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but I know I liked it,
Yeah.
And so shortly after that, we got to see Annie O'Neill's movie, Walking the Camino, 6 Ways to Santiago.
Yes.
That's a documentary, and we sort of fell in love with that, and through that we got a hold of Annie, and Annie came here to walk, and Annie thought this was a great idea to make a movie, out of me and me walking in the mud. I go, Annie, walking in the mud, what's the big deal? But she saw things that I didn't see.
Yeah.
So that's how that sort of all linked together. I'm giving you the short story, but it was supposed to happen. Was the amazing thing. It was supposed to happen.
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't have imagined it, that all these things.
No, you couldn't have imagined it, and you couldn't have sort of figured out how to get there from here.
No.
Without some higher help.
Exactly. So had you already been diagnosed when you saw The Way, or did you see The Way before?
I don't know. That's a good question. I can't really. There's 3 aspects of my life that, the Camino and cancer and Catholicism that kind of roll around like some kind of a model of an atom or something, and you can't really peel some of it away. They just there. So when you ask me that kind of question, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
it doesn't matter either. It
really?
It doesn't matter either.
Yeah, they all just kind of belong together.
Yeah, glom. Yeah.
So you wanted to go, you see the movie, and you want to go to Spain and walk the Camino, and that isn't possible for a while because of the treatments. Tell me about that moment when you're like, you know what, I'm going to build my own Camino right here in Vashon. Like, how did that come about?
Yeah, how did that come about? See, again, it was all wrapped up with these other things, so it's not independent, but because I was outside saying my rosary, walking and saying my rosary, and it's obviously a Catholic thing. And it came to be that I needed a athletic sort of a program for my cancer rehabilitation. And I had just gotten off of time that I had spent at the gym, indoor gym, and I just hated it. I felt like a hamster in a cage with the wheel going around.
Right.
I absolutely hated it, and it was a big chore. And then I started a new program, and I wanted a new, brand new, different sort of a exercise program. so I was working on the trail, and that was obviously going to be my program. So, people came out from the hospital to check it out, make sure it was not too hard and not too easy, and stuff like that. So it turned into my my exercise program. That was the sort of basic idea of it, but it went a lot further than that. It went way crazy.
Way crazier.
Yeah.
So you build this path. It's what, 0.88 kilometers, I believe.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I think I've read that you walked it, what was it, 909 laps.
Well, yeah, that was to go across Spain.
To go across Spain.
Yeah, which did 500 miles. Yeah.
So you walked 500 miles right here.
Right here.
Right here. What was that like? Did you walk twice a day? How did?
Oh yeah. Well, I did increasingly numbers of laps, and toward the end I was doing 12 laps a day, which is 6 miles, a little over 6 miles a day.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's that's kind of like half a day on the Camino, which is a good thing to think about, because you might do that in the morning and you might take a break, and then you might do that in the afternoon. So that's a good unit to kind of wrap your mind around. And that's sort of what we wound up doing, training for that 6 miles.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I've walked it with you, and it's a beautiful trail. It really felt like I was walking through Galicia, as we're walking through the trees, and it was lovely walking past your garden and whatnot. So tell me about, at what point did people come and start walking with you? Did that happen before the movie? No. Okay. So
it was after the movie.
Yeah.
Like, you mean Martin Sheen's movie?
No, but before the film about you.
Yeah, that was before the movie.
Yeah. So you would just go out and walk 6 miles a day out here. Rebecca would walk with you sometimes.
Yeah, maybe she might walk with me. Yeah. She's not really plugged into this whole idea the way I am, and that's good, because I'm pretty scary when it comes to all this stuff.
Yeah.
Why did I say that? I don't know. I mean, it's good to have somebody close by it's kind of normal.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
Obsessed with what you're doing, right?
That sort of goes like, "What are you doing?"
Keeping you in check.
Yeah. So that's a good thing. So.
Yeah. Well, I really love how you built a Cruz de Ferro. And
that was Rebecca's idea. Yeah.
Oh, that was Rebecca's idea. Yeah. I didn't know that.
Well, I mean, there's one on the Camino, but I mean, it was an idea that she had to.
Yeah.
Why don't you put one here, and then people could pick up a rock each time they go around and put it there. So there's over 3,000 rocks there. That pile gets prayed for by people all over the world.
Yes.
And I have rocks on there for my aches and pains and my doubts, and doodah.
Yeah.
It's all there in that pile, which I love. It's sort of there's no end to it. It just keeps getting bigger. So.
Yes. Yeah. So what do you feel you learned about yourself as you started building this path, and you're walking it 900 times? At that point, you haven't met Annie yet. You haven't done the film.
Well, I let's see I hadn't. But somewhere I met Annie. Yeah, I hadn't done the film yet. So
yeah.
Somewhere in that, toward the end of that, I met Annie, and
okay.
We walked here on March 2nd. I remember that date. We have an anniversary.
Yeah.
And that was significant, because she was, if I just might say, she was working on the same thing I was working on, exactly the same thing. She was writing a book for people that weren't going to walk the Camino, to have some idea what that might be like. In other words, if your spouse was walking the Camino,
yeah.
She wrote this book for you to read, so that you would get some idea of what the other person was going through, so that when you got back together, you wouldn't be so far apart.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a great concept.
Exactly.
And I was working on sort of exactly the same thing in the sense that I was working on this trail to give someone an experience of Spain without going to Spain. So we both were whipping up these kind of I don't know, little dreams of something, and then we met each other like, wow, if this was a college course, you would be working on a textbook, and I already had the lab going.
Oh,
you see what I mean?
Yes, yes.
We were both sort of working in the same direction. So that was a big realization. So it was her idea to do the film, and I was laughing at that. So, but she saw stuff that I didn't see. So
Yeah.
That's sort of that. Yeah.
Well, I kind of noticed that during the pandemic, everyone started doing virtual Caminos, and Annie also started the Pilgrimage in Place community. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking last night that, you were really the original Pilgrimage in Place. You were the person that started the first, that I know of, that started this concept of building a Camino right in your own yard, that you didn't have to go to Spain to experience the benefit of pilgrimage.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that too far, but there are things to learn on your own, maybe before you get there, or maybe you never get there. But there's things to learn. That's putting it mildly. But I did a lot of work here before I went to Spain. Thanks to Annie, I was working with Annie. And and then when I went to Spain, it just kind of tipped me, just kind of pushed me over the edge, like, okay, I'm over the edge. Okay, I'm over the edge. That's fine. Okay.
Over the edge. What's that mean? What's that mean to you?
What does that mean? I know.
What's that mean to be over the edge?
I know. It's well, I came up with this term that came out of my chemotherapy, and there's a point when you get enough chemotherapy. I might have to take a break here.
Okay.
Take a break.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we're back to part 2 of our interview with Phil Volker from Phil's Camino, and many of you probably know him from Caminoheads, from the film that Annie O'Neill made about his journey called Phil's Camino. And so this is part 2 for Vashon. We had a little electricity issue, so we had to break this up. And we are right now sitting in Phil's yard. You're probably going to see pilgrims walking by. We have a whole group of folks here celebrating the oasis, which we will talk about a little bit more. But I wanted to pick up where we were, Phil, when we left off. And you were just mentioning that when you went to Spain, when you got the opportunity to go to Spain and walk on the Camino, that kind of took you over the edge. And I said, well, what does that mean to you? What was that edge? So tell us a little bit about what that was like, getting to walk in Spain after walking all those miles here on your own Camino.
Yeah, I think I think I was doing stuff. I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, but I was doing spiritual work that it was very deep and very wonderful, but it wasn't. It was. I still sort of wasn't sure of what I was doing.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So, but it was all vital, and it all came together eventually. But it didn't. It didn't sort of maybe make sense to me, at the time. So. So I got pushed over the edge, meant that I got pushed into a whole new way of thinking for myself. So ultimately, the Camino gave me that, but I needed all that preparation too. So
yeah.
So it pushed me finally over the edge.
In a good way.
In a good way, yes, yeah. Of course, in a good way.
Yeah. So now you had always been a seeker. You were always, I think, kind of working on your inner journey, or for many years.
I suppose so. I suppose so. Yeah. Although maybe I tried to hide it. I'm really a tough guy. I don't need all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's all that for the American male.
Yeah.
But here I am after all that. So maybe there's stuff that I can we can talk about that would be interesting to your folks and help them along their way, you know?
Yeah.
We all have questions and we all have sort of hard spots, and you know, it's helpful to have help.
Yeah, definitely. So at some time in your process, you converted to Catholicism.
Yeah, you bet.
Yeah. So tell us about that. How did that come about? And
Yeah. Well, it was sort of a practical move. I mean, I know Catholicism has way more to it than what I'm going to talk about, but I'm going to talk about just something practical for my own purpose. After I got that cancer diagnosis, I realized that I really needed to up my spiritual what's the term? A spiritual connection.
yes.
And I realized that what I had going was not going to do that. I mean, the group that I was involved with was not going to be able to do that for me. So I looked around, in the Catholic Church locally was that group that could do that, that could you know, put me where I wanted to be. You know, and they had resources and they had things that I could rely on. So that's kind of like my practical look at it.
Yeah. What was it about Catholicism that you think was drawing you into that? You said that there was the support, the processes. What were the particular things? Was it the things like praying the rosary?
Well, there wasn't anything there wasn't anything in particular. It was just knowing and having and feeling, knowing that you had that backup, that you had, you know, people that could help you, people, you know, we've been around doing it a long time, so I figured they could, you know, deal with me, you know. So.
They knew what they were doing, right?
Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. But,
yeah. Is there a pretty big Catholic community here on the island?
Well, there's some, you know, it's I don't know, we have a church, it's a small by numbers.
Yeah.
But you know, we're sassy, so small and sassy.
Small and sassy. Is that the name of it? Is that the name of the parish? Small and sassy on Vashon.
Yeah.
I think it got a little sassier when you joined. What do you think?
Well, I did bring a certain aspect that they didn't have before.
Yeah.
Sort of pilgrimage aspect that, and you know, that's wow, that's sort of the stuff we're dealing with here. We're trying to isolate that. We're trying to figure out what that is that we're doing. You know, it's tricky. We're doing some really great stuff, and we're doing stuff, you know, I brought things to the church that maybe weren't there before me, or before my, you know, before my experience with the Camino. But
yeah,
I don't know. It's there's things about the Camino that move people, and you know that those particular people, I mean, I'm guessing those particular people are never going to, you know, walk through the door of a church, but they get something from the Camino that's very vital, and they walk away with it, and they go home with it. So it, you know, if I might just add this little thing that the Camino brings, you know, the spirituality out of people that maybe they didn't even know they had.
Yes, that's
and it's not going to be those sort of church related. You know, so that's really part of what I see in it, that it has that ability to attract.
Yes. What do you think that you've brought to the local church here? You said that you feel like you've brought a new, I guess, dimension to maybe the things you're doing or experiences.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, you know, when you start dealing with the Camino, you start talking about, international. You start talking, bigger picture than maybe you're used to. And I think that a lot of, gosh, can I say this without being, I don't want to, say the wrong thing or be negative, but I think we all, get in our little lives and we tend to forget about that. We're busy with the Easter ham or the Christmas goose, or we're busy and
Right.
and we don't think on that level. The bigger picture level. We're caught up with, diapers and.
Yeah.
So, maybe at some point in your life, you need to be plugged in that way.
Yeah. Almost like the Camino, I think, helps us to see more globally, to see the bigger picture of things outside of our own lives, right?
That's kind of what I'm getting at. And so the local church might be sort of, in your mind, it might be sort of, what's a word for it? Parochial or but you kind of maybe push it a little bit, to be more open. And I don't know, that's something I'm going to say without, being negative.
Right.
So I brought a certain playfulness, a certain, group of thoughts that maybe weren't there.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So you go and walk. Well, let's back up a little bit. So you build this trail here, and as you're walking and building the trail and you're walking more, you start getting stronger.
Yeah.
And your doctor says, Phil, I think you can go to Spain. There's this window between treatments, right? Yeah,
like this whole project, which you're talking about, the movie, you're talking about the trail, you're talking about Spain, you're talking about you being here, you're talking about this whole thing that's happening this weekend.
Yeah.
It all, it just all, it's all happening on its own. I mean, I don't have to be here for it to happen. Somehow it's all, maybe I do, I'm not sure, but it all has sort of a mind of its own.
Yeah.
And it's doing it right now. It's like St. James is here, like pushing the buttons. So that's what's really crazy cool about it all. So can you guys hear me out there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have some folks.
We have an audience.
We'll turn the camera around before we finish, so you can see the folks that are here. So, we're here at the Oasis, and this is the second annual get together, I guess, of the Caminoheads. And Phil was talking last night that 2 years ago, of course, couldn't have one last year during the lockdown, but 2 years ago he hosted the first one. And I've really marveled, Phil, since being introduced to you, the impact that you have had, first off, in the Camino community. I mean, there are people this weekend here from all over the United States, even internationally, that are here visiting you. And you've had a huge impact, I know, in my own life, as well as the folks that are here visiting you. But you've also had this impact in the community of folks that have also gone through cancer and are going through treatments or in recovery.
Right.
And I know you and I've talked in the past about, you and Rebecca could have never known what building this trail was going to lead to. And that I remember when I was here with you in May, and you talked about, people are calling me to talk to these groups on Zoom that at hospitals and whatnot, but you have really been an inspiration to so many people. And I just wonder, what has this journey been like for you and Rebecca to have gone from this very private life here on Vashon Island?
Right.
to now you've
Right.
kind of become this very known figure in the Camino world, but also in the world of cancer recovery. And I just wonder, what has that been like for you? And how do you feel sitting here today? And,
I'm
folks
honored.
watching in our interview.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Yeah.
I'm honored. I don't know. I don't know. It's a place that I plug into, that I'm, I can do, that I'm good at, that I like doing. How else do I say it? It's I don't know. Sister Joyce, my spiritual advisor, said, who straightened me out on a lot of stuff, said the Camino was my job now.
Yes.
That advocating for it and living it, being it is really the thing that I should be doing. And that's really what we're doing, no matter what you're talking about, what aspect of it you're talking about. It's all sort of being the Camino.
Yeah.
Somebody came up with it. I don't know if I just said this or not. My memory is totally shot. But somebody just came up with this few words that they put together, that they said see, I'm even going to forget. We somehow are by being.
Mm.
We are the Camino by being. I'm not even saying that right. I'll get it. I'll get it.
Was this what Samantha Wilson had said recently?
Oh, well, yeah, she said Samantha Wilson, who's a person on the Camino now, put together some words, and she said that what did she say, Lee?
I think we were talking last night. She was talking about how folks, once they walk the Camino, they want to go back. And I think you and I were talking about.
Yeah. Okay, I'm on it. We get off the Camino and we think that the epicenter of life, Camino life, is back on the trail.
Mm-hmm.
But she pointed out that she thought the epicenter of Camino life was really with the people who had walked and who had brought it home with them.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing, have a convention of those people, so this is, what we have here is important. It's the epicenter of the Camino way.
Yeah, it's almost as if the Camino is inside of us now.
Yeah. In other words, it's not connected to the trail as closely as we think it is.
Yeah, I agree. I think we were talking too a little bit last night. Alexander John Shaya talks about how, people think that, the Camino doesn't end, in Santiago. That's just kind of our turnaround point, and that the Camino continues far beyond that. And I think you and I sitting here, the fact that I'm sitting here with you and Vashon, the fact that the connection that has occurred,
Mm-hmm.
the fact that there are people here visiting you, that we're all still on this Camino journey. It hasn't stopped. And I look at how it's evolving,
mm-hmm.
and how it's impacted your life.
Mm-hmm.
That I think after we walk, it's almost like we come back and we start giving back to the Camino.
Yeah, we have that ability.
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think you've been doing that really since day one, since the day you first started building this trail. You didn't know. You had
I didn't
no
know.
idea.
Yeah, I didn't know.
No
I didn't know what I was doing. I mean, which is not uncommon. But yeah, we built a trail, and and it attracted people, and those people had ideas, and we had ideas, and they blended together, and the whole thing got stronger and stronger, and it's all happening away from the Camino, really, away from the Spanish from Spain.
Yeah, you've added to it. I think it's a whole new
well,
route.
Yeah, well, we did. We I think so. We added to it in a good way.
Yeah, the Camino Phil. I think,
Wow.
how many people have come out and walked with you since you built
Oh,
it?
geez, I don't know, but there's over something like 400 that I have logged in that I didn't know, people I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's tons of people I did know, but people I didn't know aren't, and they're logged in, and I have their email address in case I want to get back to them.
Yeah.
But there's approximately 400 since we opened in 2013.
That you didn't know, but there's
Yeah,
also
I
many
did
people
not know that came
Yeah.
from all over the place just to be here or to check it out, or so cool.
It's
So
very cool.
Very cool.
I remember coming and walking in May with you, and I had no idea, that you had a whole logbook and
Mhm.
the Mary Shrine, the Cruz de Ferro built, and it really made me feel like I was having an additional Camino experience. Like,
Yeah, I hope so.
yeah, absolutely.
I hope so. And I hope oh, look at that, coffee's getting dark. All right.
We have power and coffee. So Phil, tell me a little bit about, had I met you pre all of this, before you first
Yeah,
started
pre all
building
this.
this,
Okay.
how have you changed? How is the Phil I'm sitting here with
Yeah,
right now?
okay,
How is
well,
he different?
That's a darn good question. I don't know. Sort of when I got back, Rebecca didn't even know me. I mean, people, if I could just put a little sidebar here. People they come back from the Camino and they have a re-entry problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they're it's putting them in a bad place. It's like, why am I going through all this? What is happening? How come I can't make sense of all this? What's normal? What's real? What's, it's, I don't know, you returned from a journey and here you are and you're discombobulated, and it took me a couple of months to stabilize, to do
Right.
anything coherent. I was like a couple of months, I was just out of it. And I kept trying things. How do I get these new ideas, integrated with my old life. I finally came to this this conclusion, or this realization that I had really changed. I had really, really, really. And for instance, I had been for 2 months, I've been trying to normalize by taking things from Spain.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that idea. Putting them in my old life. All these things. Oh, I like that recipe. Oh, I like that that group of people. They had some great things to say. Oh, put that over here. But it wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally realized that I would have to take things out of my old life. Yeah, my wife, my kids, and put them in my new way of thinking. See, my whole ground had changed. It's radical. That's what radical means, is that you have a change down to the root of things, and which I did, and which was more than I thought. That's why I was getting screwed up by trying to re-enter.
Mm-hmm.
But once I realized that I had really, really changed, then things became clearer. And
yeah. Did you? And
so when people, not to interrupt, but
yeah.
So when people have a hard time with their reentry, I say, great. That's because you've learned something and you're trying to deal with it. If you didn't have any reaction, then what happened? What did you do? You didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right? It's just the same story.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the hero's journey can't be easy.
What?
The hero's journey.
The hero's journey.
The hero's journey.
What does that mean?
Well, that the transformation that I
Uh-huh.
think takes place on the Camino is never easy. If it were easy, like you said, there would be no improvement. There would be no change in your life. And so
Yeah.
it is a challenge for sure.
Yeah.
You talk a lot about with your cancer that in the beginning, maybe there was work of trying to get cured. And then you found maybe more peace when you started looking at it from a healing perspective in a different way. And
Yeah.
I wondered if you could share that, because I'm sure there's going to be people seeing our talk that are going through their own challenges. And I wonder what kind of, what you can share with us from your journey of what it means. What's the difference between curing and healing? And
Yeah.
how has that impacted you?
Wow. That's a little notion I picked up from Dr. Robert Barnes here in Seattle, who's passed away, but he wrote a book, and I picked it up out of his book, that there's a difference between healing and curing, and that you can go there, you can make that split, and you therefore have a different way to look at things. Because when we first get on this cancer journey, we're very involved with curing. That's all we think about, and then there comes a point, maybe like what happened to me, when my life has been prolonged, but I still am not cured.
Right.
I mean, I still have cancer, but it's held in such a way that it gives me a life to live. Yeah. So what do I do with that life to live? I'm not gonna, it's apparent that I'm probably not going to get cured. I don't know how long I have, but I never asked that question. How long do I have? So you have you're kind of on this pathway then of working on the bigger picture. Sort of forgetting about the curing and sort of emphasizing the healing, which we all have this big spiritual journey we're on, and that's what that is. Mm-hmm. It's when you get over your sort of physicality, or you're thinking that that's you, when you can kind of get over that and get in a space where you're it's you realize where you fit into the universe and how that universe sort of functions. And, you get away from that craving for the curing. It's maybe not that important.
Mm.
That's a big shift.
Yeah.
To be able to do that, but it's possible.
Yeah.
Did that answer?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how did the Caminoheads come about? How did this, you had a blog, you were writing, and then the Caminohead just kind of became this community.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Mr. Rogers deal.
Yeah.
No, it is. It is, and I don't know. That's crazy, but it is. We have people sort of all over the world that tune in. I mean, it's a modest amount of people. I'm not, going to attract any sponsors or anything, but it's all fun, and it's all meaningful. So I wrote the blog every day for 7, 8 years, 9, 8 years. I had to turn it over recently because I didn't have the wherewithal to navigate even in my own website. I mean, my ideas were good, but I couldn't put together a program. I couldn't put together a blog post. Yeah. So I had to turn it over. But so I have a good group of people to turn it over to. So.
Yeah. Did you find writing the blog post, was that part of the healing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It's when you start dealing with you start dealing with this cancer thing, you run into people and you run into people who are just trying to shelter. They're trying to isolate. They're trying to like not tell people their problems, and that's really a dead end. That's horrible. I don't know if there's any hope for that.
Yeah.
That kind of an approach. So we took the opposite approach of we're going to just report on this situation, and every day we're going to report, and we're going to talk about Catholicism, or we're going to talk about the Camino, or we're going to talk about cancer. I can't separate them. So you figure out. I'm just going to write, and you figure it out. So that's really what we wound up with.
I think people are really drawn to your no nonsense approach about that, and also, you've been so honest you've been so vulnerably honest through this entire process of sharing what's really going on, but sharing in a way I think that's very relatable. And I think your story has really resonated with so many different people.
I hope that the Camino resonates, and I hope that the walking resonates, and I hope that the spirituality resonates, and I hope that there's many ways to look at this that would be helpful for people. It's helpful for people that are that have cancer and other nasty maladies. So there's many ways to look at it that are sort of helpful.
Yeah. What do you think's been the key thing about the Camino that has really helped you? Like when you look back now and you think, if this hadn't come into my life, I would be missing this. What was it about it that just really helped with the healing?
Well, I don't know. I don't, that's like too big a bite for me to like chew right now. I don't know. The whole thing's been wonderful, and it's been a whole new way for me to like process things. A whole new way to see people. I don't know. It's been a whole new way. Let's put it that way. And it just came upon me, and I embraced it. So.
What do you do to take care of yourself? Because I feel like, so many people come out to walk with you now. I think that you have been interviewed quite a bit, and you're a source of inspiration, but how are you taking care of yourself? And, what continues to inspire you? Like, what are your daily rituals is it the readings that you do? Is it, what takes care of Phil right now?
Oh my gosh. Wow. Well, right now, one of my big goals was to make it to this weekend, because we've been working on it a year, and it didn't, my trajectory of my cancer looked like, well, is he going to make it? Is he going to croak in the middle of it, or what the hell? So that's like really one aspect of this. And here I am on the second day. I'm here, and excuse me, part of what we laugh about, and part of what we know about that you might not know out there, is that if you watch the film, you can see that we had a beautiful dog who died right in the middle of our Camino party.
Right.
And sort of, I always had this notion that he was showing me the way. In other words, you don't sort of isolate. You're out in the open, and you're with your friends, and if that's the point that you fly away, that's the point that you fly away. So here I am. I made it. This is kind of like the party I could, it would be hard on everybody, but it's possible that I could fly away during the party, or next month. I don't know, but we're sort of prepared, right? I mean, we're prepared.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing. It's not something weird or strange.
So this really gave you something, I think, during the lockdown, during the pandemic, to look forward to, was having the Oasis party, and to, for us all to be able to get vaccinated. And, I just wanted to mention that we're all vaccinated, and Phil and I are sitting here unmasked only because we want to make sure that both of us have some hearing issues, and we like to read lips. And so, we are safe in doing this, but I would imagine that this is really giving you something to look forward to. And
Right.
I'm so grateful, Phil, to be here. And I know all of the folks that are here with us this weekend, to be able to have this time to spend with you. And it's given us all something to look forward to. And I think that purpose is so important. And I think when we come back from the Camino, being able to give back and to do things. And I so admire what you have created from the beginning, your own path here, and then what you've done following getting to walk in Spain, and all the people that you've brought into all of our lives. You have enriched our lives as your life has been enriching.
Yeah, it's a two-way street. I've been, it's what I live off of anymore. So here we are. Yeah, we're all having a great time, and that's sort of what it should be.
Well, thank you, Phil. I think we should close. I really, really appreciate this opportunity to chat more with you, and I so appreciate the inspiration you brought to my life in this past year. And I'm so grateful to know you. So grateful to be a part of this big Camino Pilgrim family. And I know so many more things that are to come. And thank you for being you and being this amazing pilgrim that you are, the Caminohead. And we should say he's got his general hat on. Last night.
Well, there's many stories we didn't go into, but maybe we'll have time to do another one of these at some point.
Yeah.
The whole thing's been rich and amazing, and watch us, see what happens.
So I think it was Rick and Farmer John did a little hat ceremony last night.
Yeah, I was awarded this particular hat last night because I don't know if I'm going to have time to get into all that, but I got promoted to general, from colonel, so I had to have some way of showing that. So I got this hat.
Well, it fits. It fits.
And it fits.
It fits. Well, thank you so
much. And thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. And so we'll close from the Oasis. And thank you, Phil. And everyone at the Camino Cafe, I hope if you haven't seen the movie about Phil, it's Phil's Camino. Annie O'Neill did an amazing job. It's a beautiful, beautiful account of Phil's journey. So I hope that you will check that out if you haven't watched it yet. So thank you for watching, and until next time, Buen Camino.
Okay, great.
Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. Las cosas que necesito en la vida ya están aquí. I am free, free as a bird now, with my feathered wings. I am free, free as a bird now, with my feathered